Hi guys, Dustin here with another Eagle Moss Star Trek video. Today we are taking a look at 1 through 11. This was from the first 6 months, or every 11 videos or so. I'll do a wrap-up video of all the ships that we got from that particular period. This force overshadows from the first issue, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, and 11th. This basically goes on for 6 months. So, without further ado, I will do quick 3-minute video of all the ships. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. In the first month of September, we overlooked the USS Enterprise Deep, a Galaxy-class starship. A beautiful, beautiful ship. Absolutely, still love it. This was the first ship that you would get when you first subscribe to the Eagle Moss publications for the Star Trek Starships magazine. If you have not seen the video, I highly urge you to go back and see it. So, we're going to do for all of these ships we're doing, we're actually going to do a little small mini review. So overall, I still like this ship, pretty big for her size. And as all die-cast ships, they are indeed top-heavy. And of course, I love the Aztec-themed detail. You can actually see it in the light. So, overall, I actually love this ship. And for all these videos, they actually include links to the Memory Alpha's website. That is the official Wikipedia for Star Trek. Well, unofficial, but whatever. So, it actually includes the deflector dish, pretty decent for its size, and the warp cells are amazing. Even though that the warp cells is smaller and the saucer itself is real big, I really wish that they would have done the saucer separator for this, which would have been really cool. So, overall, therefore, I like this ship and it looks pretty good. As always, I'm going to do a little 3-minute review. About I'm going to keep my best to keep it under 3 minutes. Issue number 2 comes as in October, as we took a look at the USS Enterprise Refit variant. It's a Constitution cruiser with a warp cells from the motion picture movie. And what I don't like about that is there's actually a little sliver gap right here. So, I don't know what's up with that. So as you actually have the little gold dome for the bridge. As always, the registry and the name always bears the name. Actually, I like these little lines that run across here. Very visible in the light. You can actually see it. Looks pretty cool. And as we take a look at the underside, same way. Also have the blue deflector dish right here. Transparent blue, which is real nice, kind of like a dark navy blue kind of color. Also, always the translucent warp nacelles, and an extra feature so that way if you actually hold it up to the light, it makes it look like that the ship is navigating at warp, which looks really cool. The USS Reliant does the very same thing, which we will take a look at later on in this video. from what I've heard from Eagle Moss publications, is that they're going to try to redo this ship, but name it NCC-1701-A. Yes, indeed, from what I've heard. And the little blue dome right here very stands out, because that's actually the turbo lift. Actually goes down into the engineering hull, and from there. So, from what Eagle Moss is going to try to do for their 1701-A is actually take a mold like this and actually redesign it, add in the Aztecs and of course the -A, because this ship lacks of Aztec. You cannot even distinguish. I actually had that very kind of same familiar problem when I first reviewed this. So, pretty decent, even though the lack of Aztec and real disappointment. On to the next ship. As we close out the month of October, we got the Klingon Burrell Bird of Prey. Little fighter of a ship. Pretty decent for her size. It feels like it will not come off. No flaws with this. Looks really amazing. I really like the age and the wear back here, which I never reviewed. Actually looks really amazing. We take this off, as this is the same way as seen from Star Trek IV of the Voyage Home. Actually has that bird detail under here. What I like about it best of the guns, actually not the guns, the disruptor cannons are right up here. They actually have the little torpedo shooter up here, as always. I didn't find any flaws in this. It looks real cool. I can't even argue. But I really wish what they would have done is basically have the wings flap up and down, like up position for landing and down position for attacking. Basically in this position, it's basically in flight mode, which I can't complain. Looks really cool. I can't argue. Overall, the ship looks really amazing. Nice little wing texture here. Like the use of every single shade of green that they can get. Like the main body part is just like basically maybe a yellow green, and actually added dark green here, light green. Looks like a shade of olive in there too. It's white. You look under here, that you actually use every single shade of red. You can actually see the maroon color in there in the mix, in the light, a bit of orange, both sides. I actually don't like the way that actually this little green thing's right here, but it's actually not on this side, which is a little asymmetrical. But I can't complain. It still looks pretty cool. Bridges up here as always. That way, in flight mode, torpedo shooter. Very well detailed. So, overall, I like this ship. And on to the next ship, the Enterprise NX-01. As we move on into the month of November of 2014, we received the Enterprise NX-01 from Star Trek Enterprise on television. This is the first ever Warp 5 ship, the part of the United Earth, later on Coalition of Planets, and then later became a United Federation of Planets. It's the NX class. What I like about it, it's basically sleek. I thought it's basically dark gray than what I normally see on television. Actually, I had a blue, translucent blue, but I actually don't like that. This is basically it. Basically, this one's level. I think the other side is not. So, it's a little bummer. The underside is basically well detailed. You actually see the Aztec markings as seen in the light. Please note I do have my bedroom light on so that way you can see it. As always, I believe the translucent blue actually lights up, and not only that, also the translucent red as well, which actually makes it look like the ship is at warp. So therefore, this ship is kind of a-okay, but I actually really need to work on the warp nacelles just a little bit, so that way they can get that accuracy. Deflector dish is up here, so that, which looks pretty cool, even though it's a little small, but I cannot complain. So, on to the next ship. She's a big warbird herself. As we close out November, we took a look at the Romulan Diderotix Warbird class. Pretty big for her size. I absolutely like it. It's well detailed, just all green. Use about every shade of green it can get. Like, amazing. Actually have a little light green for the nacelles on the inside, which is real amazing. Like the use of the windows up here and all the way to the back. Actually have this big gap right here. And this is basically one of my favorite Romulan ships ever. I cannot complain about this. It looks real amazing. It's very well detailed. But problem is, you won't even go all the way in. Just like the way right now, it's not tight and secure enough. And this little part will eventually pop off time again. So, can't complain about this ship, but it still looks pretty cool. I like the Romulans myself. On to the next Federation ship. From the Delta Quadrant to now here. The month of the as we close out December, actually got this ship plus the other ship a little late than I anticipated. We took a look at the USS Voyager. Just like what I said, it's really top heavy like every single ship that I have. So, Voyager, she does look pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. I really wish they would add an option to actually lift up the warp nacelles or lower it down. Overall, Voyager is pretty amazing. Like one of the best Federation ships I ever have. Even though that she lacks the Aztecing, really, Captain Janeway really packs a punch with this ship. We take a look at underneath the ship. We actually have a little Delta Flyer, which was never actually used in any of the episodes of Voyager. And we take a look at the deflector dish. This one's the main one. Just you thought this one's the main one? This little, if you see the little yellow, you know, where the sensor panel is, that is the secondary deflector dish. So, therefore, I like Voyager, even though she's a little top heavy, but she's still amazing. And she fits real snug right onto the display stand, which is really amazing. On to the next ship. The final ship before the new year rings in. We got the... I apologize, that was the sound of thunder. I believe we are expecting thunderstorms tonight. So if you actually hear any low rumbling sounds, it's probably a thunderstorm. The other ships that I recorded, there weren't any thunder when they rolled in. So when we closed out the new year, we took a look at this Klingon Katinga battlecruiser starship. Yes, indeed, dark gray and all details. Well, I really wish they would actually had to add a Klingon symbol right here, instead of basically leaving it like this. Actually, I need to add a little more detail on this instead of making it look a little bland. If they were actually at a dark green color, just like the same way they did for the bird of prey, that would have been real amazing. I mean, she's a very amazing ship, and what I don't, the display stand is loose. Like, you can pop this up at any time, and if you were actually, you know, take it off the shelf and, you know, take it with you, this would actually pop off. So basically all you gotta do is basically take one hand, grab it, and take the other hand, actually keep the ship in your hand without it falling apart. A little less flaws in this one. She still looks amazing. Qapla'. That's actually the first ever Klingon word I ever said in this. Amazing milestone. Anyway, on to the next ship. We ring in the new year with new Federation ships. We took a look at the USS Excelsior. Long for her size. And very, very amazing. I like the Aztec details, as you can actually see coming off from the light. And as always, the translucent blue warp nacelles lights up, which is real amazing when it ever holds to the light. Actually, well, basically, basic Excelsior build, which is real amazing. And we will definitely take a look at the USS Enterprise B when that time comes around. When that comes around, I'll do a compare and contrast video to this ship and the Enterprise B, which is going to be real cool. And what I don't like about this is basically the size, because these ships, they're not being scaled with each other. As you can actually see from, if I were to try to recreate the scene, the ending scene of the 6th Star Trek movie, The Undiscovered Country, it'd be impossible, because this ship is actually larger in person than a Constitution class starship. That's like trying to say that Defiant is a little much bigger than the Enterprise D in basically in some Deep Space Nine episodes. I'm not sure the Enterprise D was in Deep Space Nine. Anyway, on to the next Federation ship. Size does not matter, even if it's for the USS Defiant. We took a look at the USS Defiant. She may be small for her size, but she can still really pack a punch. This little tactical escort ship is the Borg's worst nightmare. It includes translucent red and translucent blue pieces, but you can't hold those to the light, which is a bummer. Actually, I like the idea they actually put the bridge right here and actually lay this across, make it look like that the bridge is not even there, like it's a drone. This little torpedo warhead right here and the deflector dish. I really wish it would stop wiggling still. Yeah, I did not find any flaws in this ship. Looks cool, looks amazing. This little warship here can really pack a punch. And from what someone pointed me out on the Star Trek Modelers group, that this little logo right here, I know you cannot see it, basically the little yellow Delta logo is this way instead of the traditional way. Basically, all icons have to face forward. This one does not, which I'm not going to complain, which is real nice. Even though it's a little flawed, but the decaling can use some work even for right here. and fit snug on the display stand, which is really neat. Anyway, on to the next ship. From an old ship to a classic foe. When February hit around, we took a look at the USS Reliant, the Miranda class vessel. And I like the Aztec details, it really popped out, but from what I don't like, and it was actually proved one time, my mom accidentally dropped it on like roll bar first, which actually snapped off something. I think it was this side. What it was, I'm not sure. It was this side because I could actually see the little, because I actually saw a little clear glue coming off from this side. The USS Reliant, the Aztecs really popped out, which is really amazing. And it's always a little unique design that what we normally see from Star Trek. And the translucent blue warp grill actually lights up, which is really amazing. Well, overall, I like this ship. The Miranda class starship of the USS Reliant. I've seen some photos of early concept from the original series, but I don't think they really made the cut. I may be wrong, but we can always imagine. Alright, on to the next and final ship. Please note that I did not receive any special issues within this time during this time period of the ships that I received, which is okay. I ain't gonna complain. Finally, we took a look at the Borg Cube. This die-cast ball texture in green, evil green, actually has a universal display. So basically, it does not matter how you can display this. This little Borg spear, we took a look at the assimilation process. Ouch. Don't ever get assimilated by the Borg. And basically, the details of it, which is really outstanding. You may think it looks like a metallic planet, but it's actually not. And we did compare this to the size of a normal regulation baseball, which is really good because you can actually determine how it was built. You determine how it was built and designed. One of the most intimidating adversaries, bone-chilling and mostly feared among Star Trek fans, was the Borg spear. You can actually put it in any way you want, because this is actually the same as the bottom. Anyway, I am not going to complain about this. Looks pretty cool. The texture is just really amazing. Whatever you do, do not throw this like a baseball, please. Anyway, I ain't gonna complain about this. Which, the Borg spear does look pretty cool, by the way. If I actually had a green light, it would have been amazing. Alright, so you've seen all 11 clips of all of these ships. Started from what we got in December. Not December, September, October, November, December of 2014. And then we moved on to the new year with January and February. So, all these ships, I actually love them all. I'm glad to have them. But no flaws. I did not return any of them back, which is real good. If I we're actually had to find a little flaw. If something were to break off, that's no problem because I can actually glue that back. Which is real good. Anyway, my name is Dustin. I hope you enjoyed this video. I put a real lot of work and effort in creating this video. It took all the hard work and dedication to actually do this kind of project. So we're going to be expecting more from Eagle Moss real soon. And probably by the time this video is already out, there's already been some videos right now. So yeah, my name is Dustin, and I will see you again in my next second wrap-up video. Or the next review. Whatever that comes first. We're going to take one more final look. Anyway, that's been your final look. My name is Dustin, and I will see you again.